so I had a request to do f plus g, f minus g, f times g, f of g, and g of f when there are fractions involved. Now, I want to add that pretty much everyone just kind of hates fractions, so almost everyone forgets all the rules for it. One of the things you just really got to remember for this is that when you're multiplying fractions, for instance, 1/2 times 1/3, when you multiply across, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, you get 1/6. Whereas if you were to add fractions, let's say 1/2 plus 1/3, you need to make sure that they have the same denominator. So 1/2 and 1/3 have different denominator numbers. That's a 2 and that's a 3. You got to turn it into a 6. So a common factor for both, common multiple for both of them. So 1/2, when I convert it to a denominator of 6, is 3/6, and 1/3, when I convert to a denominator of 6, is 2/6. So what happens? 2 plus 3 gives me 5/6. So my answer here is 5/6. You do not add 2 plus 3 and 1 plus 1 to get 2/5, because that is just mathematically incorrect. Alright, having kept that in mind, and actually knowing that really big piece of information, f of g, f plus g, f minus g, f times g, f of g of x and g of f of x aren't actually really that hard. So let's start with f plus g, which is just, 2x plus 3 plus x over 3 minus 1. I'm going to distribute the positive to both terms inside the parentheses, and then I get 2x plus 3 plus x over 3 minus 1. Now, like terms, which I like to highlight, are 3 negative 1, and the other pair of like terms are 2x and x over 3. The easier like terms is 3 negative 1. That just gives us the answer of 2. Positive 2. However, the more difficult part is what happens when I have 2x and I need to add it to 3x. Well, what you could do is you can convert 2x into an improper fraction where it has a denominator. So 2 rewritten would be 2x rewritten would be 6x over 3. And that makes sense because 6 divided by 3 gives you 2 and x is x. So if I have 6x over 3 plus x over 3, I get 6 plus 1 is 7x over 3. So my final answer is 7x over 3 plus 2. Now if I want to do subtraction, it's the same kind of deal. I rewrite again 2x plus 3, which is f, and minus x over 3 minus 1, which is g. I take that negative and I distribute it out, and that's going to give me 2x plus 3 minus x over 3 plus 1. What are the like terms? I have plus 3 and plus 1. The other set of like terms is 2x and once again negative x plus 3. Alright, let's add my like terms. 3 and 1 gives you positive 4, so that's part of my answer. Now this 2x minus x over 3, we already converted it in the previous problem, so we have 6x over 3, that's what 2x becomes, minus x over 3 equals to 5x over 3. So my answer would be 5x over 3 plus 4. Multiplication. This is the one that's going to get a lot of students because they will forget to do the most important thing, and that is to multiply everything out. I think I said before that I really hate FOIL because it's just the distributive property, but it puts limitations to what kind of numbers you can use. So one of my students in class today said, "Oh, is there an acronym for if I had to do a 3-term, a trinomial, multiplying with a binomial?" And I said no, because FOIL works very conveniently since I can identify first, outer, inner, and last, always. But if I have 3 terms in one polynomial and 2 terms in another, I can't identify that. So I'm just gonna use the box. If that made no sense to you, I hope you skipped ahead here. X minus 3, or x over 3 minus 1, and then 2x plus 3. Alright, let's multiply out. 2x times x over 3 is 2x squared over 3. 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. 3 times x over 3 is 3x over 3. And 3 times negative 1 is going to give you negative 3. Now again, I have this whole, I hope things have common denominators, and they don't, so I gotta make them have common denominators with these 2 terms, which are like terms. So we already know 2x is 6x over 3, so let's just rewrite it. I have negative 6x over 3 plus 3x over 3. That gives me negative 3x over 3. That cancels out. That gives me negative x. So my final answer is just 2x squared over 3 minus x minus 3. If you're not sure where these things come from, I'm gonna start circling where I got it from. Maybe x comes from here. 2x squared minus 3 comes from here. And this last negative 3 comes from here. Home stretch. F of g and g of f. Let's do f of g first, because that's pretty easy. Let's move some of this stuff down as well, so I have a little bit more room. Alright, let's do f of g of x. Remember, when I'm doing f of g of x, I am replacing the x in f with the other equation from g. So my base equation is 2x plus 3. However, instead of writing this x, I am going to replace it with this entire enormous giant right there. So I'm going to write that in a different color, in blue. I have x over 3 minus 1. See what I did? I replaced the letter x with this entire piece. X over 3 minus 1. What do I end up with? So f of g of x equals to 2 times x over 3 is 2x over 3. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Plus 2 times 3 is, no, 2 doesn't go to 3. Plus 3. That's it. That's it. Sorry, ignore that. So f of g of x is 2x over 3 plus 1. And thank goodness I don't have to combine like terms, because there are no like terms other than my numbers, and I've already done that. Negative 2, negative positive 3, negative positive 1. Finally, g of f of x. I start with the monster equation, or monster expression, x3, x over 3 minus 1. Now I'm going to replace x with 2x plus 3. So watch how I rewrite this. This is actually kind of interesting. It would be 2x plus 3 over 3 minus 1. Alright? One of the things you have to do, and because I know some of you might say, I'm done here, but I don't think so. You're not done. One of the things you have to do is you have to see whether or not the numbers can simplify at any point. So if you recall from fractions, adding the numerators and having the same denominators, you can split them into 2 different fractions. So I can rewrite 2x plus 3 over 3 as 2x over 3 plus 3 over 3 minus 1. And what is 3 over 3? That's 1. So I get 2x over 3 plus 1 minus 1. And when I combine my terms, which is these two, I get nothing. So my final answer to x over 3. I really hope this was helpful and meaningful in some way. I'm sorry it was really kind of long, but I was asked to do 5 questions, more or less. And I hope this is going to help you actually do your homework tonight. If you have any further questions, please send me an email, leave me a comment, write something on YouTube. I don't know. Visit my website, post something. Just get your work done. Have a good day.